Good day, everyone. My name is Mark Hall. I'm with William George Associates, a project management, agile, and Lean Six Sigma training and consulting firm based in the Boston metro area. For 22 years, we've been plying our craft, and among other accomplishments, we have trained and certified over 12,000 students in our public courses and in our private client work. On the consulting side of things, we implement project management systems, we implement project management offices, we do agile implementations, and we offer agile coaching services. But today, this is not about those things that have happened in the past. I wanted to share with you a major shift in the market that we sensed about 2 years ago. As of a couple of years ago, our clients are now asking us to help them become more innovative. And we had 2 years ago the great fortune of being engaged by arguably the world's most innovative company. Now, why would such a company come to William George? Because they're the best, they're the biggest, they're the brightest, they're the most innovative. And they came to us because they sensed that we had something that we could provide them, and that was further information and further techniques on how they could become more innovative. And they want to stay on top of the heap. They want to stay ahead of their competition. And therefore, in the past 2 years, we have trained and certified over 275 of their product team members. As a result of our work in the last couple of years, we wanted to introduce today a set of offerings whereby we come on site for 1 week and we actually spark your innovation gene. We believe the innovation gene exists within every organization. Unfortunately, mostly it lays dormant. But with the services that we are going to talk about today, we can activate your innovation gene in 1 week. Why innovation? Why the shift in the marketplace? Why are our clients asking us to help them become more innovative? Because innovation protects us from things like the economic effects of economic downturns. It keeps us ahead of our competition. And it helps us create an organization, an innovative enterprise that is energetic, courageous, more profitable, and it's characterized by not just a sense of accomplishment, but true accomplishment. The offerings that we're going to talk about are, here's a slide that contains them. I'm going to describe them briefly and talk about them in more detail later on. The first thing we're going to do, we recommend doing, is do a 2-day class. Let's get 25 of your product team members, and we ask that you get a representative group from everybody that touches the product on the development side. And we will train and certify them in the ways of innovation. After those 2 days are done, then we'll spend 1 day implementing a lightweight lessons learned process. The 4th day, we'll implement an Agile Design review process, which is a proprietary process that we've developed over the last few years that actually makes sure that the customer remains top of mind as you go through the development process. And the last day, there are several topics that we can talk about. One, we recommend that the executive team attend a 2-hour training session for Agile for leadership. Then we can discuss project management office plans, whether you want to sketch out a design, a high-level set of requirements for a PMO, or if you have a PMO, any adjustments that might be made to it. And then lastly, we'll have an ideation session over your data. How are you using it? How are you gathering it? How are you visualizing it? And we have Power BI that will help that. So our discussions on the last day will kind of round out the entire experience. One thing I want to draw your attention to is we have actually reduced the price of this 5-day set of offerings from $50,000 down to $25,000. And I would just ask for you to go ahead and engage as soon as you can to take advantage of that tremendous discount. Let's talk about the 2-day team training for the first 2 days of our time with you on site. This is the best way to kick off the week. So get cross-functional team members, and we'll talk in advance about what that means. And what we're going to do is those 2 days are going to be spent talking about how we can be more innovative by understanding the customer better. We have class team exercises. This is a fun, energetic 2-day class, and the team will be very excited and happy with it. There will be a class project so they can learn these new techniques in hands-on learning. And at the end of the 2 days, there's going to be a certification test, and they will receive a certification in their innovative training session. What's different about our training? Well, our observation is that other training providers actually want to segment the roles. In other words, isolate the roles. So, they'll have one class for Scrum Masters, one class for just product owners, the other class for executives, and another class for team members. Not so with us. We want everybody in that class. Those 25 people are representatives of the entire product development process. What are the outcomes from the 2-day training? An energized and engaged product team. Our teams, the way that we train and certify them, the teams will operate as a team of equals. So everybody feels accountable. Everybody is accountable for doing their best work, and they have the tools and techniques with which to do that. Everyone on the team is taught to understand what the customer wants, why they want it. That means they have to be curious about how they are using our products. And once we understand the what and the why, now the team can figure out how best to satisfy those requirements. So the what, the why are precursors to doing the best work in figuring out how to satisfy customers' requirements. After leaving the class, those 25 people will absolutely go out and share ideas and information with their peers. So what happens in the 2-day training class is not going to stay in the 2-day training class. They will proliferate the learnings and the ideas. Day 3, the lessons learned process. Probably the biggest bang for the buck here of all of them over time. Studies show that less than 5% of all organizations have a lessons learned process. And of those that do, less than 2% utilize lessons learned for continuous improvement. So there are some organizations, a small minority of organizations, that capture lessons learned, but they don't use them. It's not a closed loop process that requires future similar product team leaders to go into a database and look at what's happened on the last 3 similar past projects. So that's valuable information that needs to be brought forth in order to create a process of continuous improvement. So we'll design and implement a simple, easy to implement, easy to socialize lessons learned process for all your major products and projects. Without this process, without this closed loop process, continuous improvement is absolutely impossible. So what we want to do is open up the gates and have you mine the gold that exists in your lessons learned. One question that I'm going to throw out there, I'm not going to answer it, but it's for you to ponder. Why do you think organizations are scared of capturing and using lessons learned? Outcomes from the lessons learned process: your organization will dramatically reduce errors. The overall organization's risk profile will be improved dramatically because we are continuously improving. The lessons learned process creates an environment for innovation whereby we are more proactive, that we avoid problems before they actually happen. So we are not mired in mind share waste. In other words, if our minds are thinking about how to recover from defects, we are not thinking about the customer and how best to satisfy their needs. So we try to minimize the non-value add rework and recovery that is very damaging to an organization. With a working closed loop lessons learned process, again, studies show operating costs can be reduced by up to 15% within a year. That is major return on investment, and it can't happen without a process. Just a quick reference to Edwards Deming, one of the fathers of the quality methodologies. He came up with the Plan, Do, Check, Act. The lessons learned process is exactly, just mirrors that. And coming from aviation, I have a real love for aviation, and I have a real passion for making sure our clients actually have a lessons learned process. Aviation is a perfect scenario for project management and product development and learning lessons, because every accident that happens in the commercial airline world, every fatal accident gets investigated, and the root cause must be established, and therefore changes must be made to processes and even laws. And this slide actually proves that lessons learned work. So what we have here is a slide that shows that since 1960s, in the early 1960s, the number of flights in millions has gone up almost exponentially. And you can see that the airline business wasn't always as safe as it is today. But without a lessons learned process, you would expect that the accident rate to go up with the number of flights. Not so. Because they have this lessons learned process, the drive to capture what the probable cause was, we actually have decreased the accidents over time in real numbers. Another look at the same data, fatal accident rate per million flights in the 60s. Again, we're not very safe, but because we have this lessons learned process, we have gone down to the point where we're not perfect, and we're not going to be satisfied until we're perfect, but it is only the application of lessons learned that allows us to have this tremendously safe experience flying airplanes. Day 4, we're going to help you implement our proprietary Agile Design reviews. What did we do? Again, we consider ourselves somewhat as thought leaders in the world of project management and product development. And what we've done here is looked at the design review processes. We've sat through hundreds of them. And what we believe is we have found that many of the design reviews that we've experienced are not organized. They don't have the right people there, and we don't have the right outcome. So our streamlined process makes sure we have the right audience and the right agenda. And we want to make sure that everybody involved there, that all the right people are there for a design review. And everyone is challenged to think of new features and new development techniques to meet customer requirements. So it's all about making sure as we design and build our services that we have the customer at the top of the list. Outcomes from the Agile Design review process: everyone is prepared for the design reviews. Everyone is there that needs to be. Special attendees will add value to the sessions, and I'll explain that when we're on site. And Agile Design reviews make sure the customer's vision is maintained throughout design and development. That means we are always thinking about them and their experience and understanding the what and the why. And the design reviews go into how we are going to satisfy those requirements. All external and internal stakeholders understand the what and the why as a result of this. So this is where the activation of the innovation gene helps in many regards. Day 5, we recommend, and we would like to present the 2-hour session, Agile for Leadership. Again, it's a way to make sure that senior management understands what's going on and leads the organization in to a place of innovation. We will also create high-level requirements for a project management office, if that's something that interests you. And we can also talk about our data strategy, your data strategy. In summary, I want to thank you for the time that it took for you to look at this. I tried to keep it as short as possible to make it sure it's interesting. The package has been assembled to activate your organization's innovation gene. Take advantage of the 50% off, please. And then here's my information. Call my cell or email me, and we'll get together and have a chat but it would be our pleasure to spend a week energizing your organization and helping you become more innovative. And with that, I bid you a good day.